Hello, welcome back to the channel and welcome to part 4 of my alternative beginners lesson. Today it's just about putting it all together, maybe a quick understanding of what exactly is happening and then just putting it all together and making a golf swing out of these different things that we've been learning over the last few weeks. If you think about it, really the decisive thing when you're playing golf is your timing, your coordination. Not necessarily if you're doing everything absolutely perfectly, but coordinating these different parts of your swing to get the golf club back square on the ball with enough club head speed to move it down the fairway. And that's what we're really talking about today. And in order to help you to do that, I want to just give you a couple of very simple thoughts. And the thoughts are these. When you're taking the club back, basically we're just going to lift it. We're going to lift it obviously to the side and get it on plane. If you can get your club into the same angle as it had in the address position, just turn to the side and lift it, then you're really halfway there. Because just by letting it fall and release, it's going to try and find its own way back onto the golf ball. And that leads us straight to the second thing you've got to be thinking about when you're trying to time and synchronize your golf swing. You have to let it fall. And strangely enough, the trouble with this is you're doing nothing. You have to have the feeling of the club falling. When you make a backswing, you are lifting the club. You have to do that. You are hinging and rotating your lower arms so that you get the club on plane. You have to do that. But once you actually get it up to about chest height, you can basically relax and let the club start to do the work. By taking it back quick enough, by hinging quick enough, you're giving the club inertia. It wants to continue back over your right shoulder. You just have to let it. And the trick is to allow gravity to slow it down and change its direction. And you can see as I change the direction, I'm almost kind of sitting into the downswing. Again, this is something which is a big misunderstanding when it comes to changing your swing, and especially the sequence of movement. If you read the books, we are moving our lower body and then we're moving our upper body. We're working with our feet before we're working with our hands. But it's not necessarily what it should feel like. In truth, when we get to the top of our swing, we should have so much tension in our body, coiled like a spring, that if I just relax, I'm going to come back where I was before. In the backswing, my trail leg is straightened. So if I just relax, I'm going to come back to where I was before. And my body is going to go into this kind of squat feeling or squat movement. And if I can get the feeling of both my arms dropping and my knees dropping at the same time, then everything's on the same page. And despite the feeling of the club just coming down and my body staying in this position, pointing here at the down the line camera, what's actually happening is my hips are returning back to their starting position and even traveling further past it by the time the club gets down to more or less parallel. It's very important in this stage that you are not trying to accelerate or hold the club tightly. If you try and do that out of your arms, you're really building yourself for a disaster, because by accelerating the club down, you really are not going to have time to turn the body through the ball. But that's what it's got to do. And it's got to do that because just dropping the arms will obviously mean the club will collide with the floor. So we're lifting and dropping and then turning. I allow basically the tension in my body to turn me back to my starting position, and then I turn actively through the ball. And it's a pretty quick turn. I don't have much time. In truth, by the time the club gets down to around about hip height, you've got around about 40 milliseconds before you're hitting the golf ball, if not less, if you're a top player. And that means there isn't an awful lot more going on. Your hip will come around and will stop rotating. Your lead shoulder will rotate up and back. And instead of pulling the club, as it has done up until now, towards the target, it will start to pull it up away from the ball, which will accelerate the release of your wrists and therefore the release of the club into the back of the ball. This is where you've got to be sure that you are not holding the club too tightly. You're not blocking the wrist action. In fact, the entire downswing, if you look at your trail arm, you can feel that the arm will first come down, and as the upper arm almost connects with the body, the lower arm releases. As the lower arm releases, the wrist releases. And it's a totally normal kinematic sequence which is happening here. It's not something you have to do. You just allow it to happen. And that is more or less it. The sequence of a golf swing is lift, drop, and turn. Lift, drop, and turn. And you've got to get the feeling that the club is being accelerated through the ball, not at the ball. That the fastest point in your golf swing is here, not here. Understanding that and getting a feeling for it is essential to make your golf swing a rhythmical movement and not a load of points and places. We don't want to be going through too many places as we swing around our golf swing, stopping in different stations and making sure that the club is doing everything that it should be. On the contrary, we want it swinging through this kind of loopy feeling, relaxed, smooth, and accelerating it through towards the target. Getting that to happen smoothly and getting that to happen correctly in the right time is about hitting golf balls. This is where, once you've actually got all of the working parts, you understand what they're supposed to be doing, you have to simply practice it. And without putting the time in, hitting the dirt enough, it's going to be very difficult for you to ever give up control of your golf swing to your body. But that's exactly what you've got to do. You've got to try and show your golf swing what you want without a ball, and then trust it to do the work with a ball, giving your body the command rather than your conscious mind is one of the main keys to swinging a golf club rhythmically and in the right sequence. But if we really simplify it as much as we can, we're just picking it up and dropping it and turning through the golf ball. And if you can kind of try and keep it that simple, then you're going to have far more success playing this game. If it helped you, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that too. If you'd like to become a patron to the channel, I shall leave a link below. And a big thank you to everybody who's become a patron so far. See you the next time. Bye-bye.